History and alarming connections are mostly unknown to the American people. Who is Huma Abedin? What do we know about Hillary Clinton's #1 aide and sidekick for 20 years? Hillary spoke at Huma's wedding saying, "If I had a second daughter, it would be Huma." This presidential election decides who gets to run the most powerful country on earth, so it is obviously very important to understand the facts about Huma Abedin, as she may very soon become Chief of Staff in the White House. I'll be simplifying an intricate web of people, organizations, and events that unraveled over many years. All of this information and more is available online for anyone who has access to Google. Anyway, here is an unbelievable story of infiltration, unfolding before our eyes, and the most important aspect of this election that you definitely won't see on CNN. There are 4 main players in this: Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin, Abdullah Omar Nassif, and Saudi Arabia. Huma was born in the USA. Then when she was 2 years old, her family moved to Saudi Arabia. They lived in Saudi Arabia for 16 years. Huma returned to the USA when she was 18 to study at George Washington University. Only after 2 years in the country, she became an intern for Hillary Clinton, and soon after started working full-time. Also in 1996, Huma was working at her family business, a journal by the Institute of Muslim Minority Affairs. The Abedin's family business is owned by the Muslim World League, Saudi Arabia's global organization that promotes violent Wahhabi Islam. They even share an office at 46 Goodge Street, London. Saliha Abedin, Huma's mother, and Hassan Abedin, Huma's brother, currently work there still. Abdullah Omar Nassif is one of the founders of the Muslim World League and served as vice president of the Saudi Kingdom Shura Council. He created Huma's family business along with her father. He also funded Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden, as did Saudi Arabia, for many years. His organization was declared guilty of funding Al-Qaeda terrorism by the USA State Department. During the Holy Land Foundation trial in 2001, the FBI discovered that the Muslim Brotherhood gave over $12 million to Hamas, the terrorist organization. They also found the secret 18-page plan for the Muslim Brotherhood, which explains that their work in America is a kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying Western civilization from within. This document is available online in full. One of the many listed organizations within the Muslim Brotherhood was the Muslim Students Association, which Huma was an executive board member on for 3 years. Only 2 years after Huma left, Anwar al-Awlaki, the Al-Qaeda member and preacher to 9/11 hijackers, became chaplain of the same Muslim Students Association that Huma was a part of. To make things worse, Huma's mother, Saliha Abedin, is a leading member of the Muslim Sisterhood, the women's division of the Muslim Brotherhood. All of these organizations share the same goal and tell us repeatedly in plain English. They want to destroy Western civilization and replace our laws with oppressive Sharia law like you see in Saudi Arabia. On 9/11, Abdullah Omar Nassif, Saudi Arabia, and Al-Qaeda tried to do just that. Where was Huma that day? The top funders of the 9/11 attacks created Huma's family business. Huma was officially working for the terrorists and Hillary Clinton the day those towers fell. Huma Abedin has never come forward with any information about her Saudi co-workers. Absolutely none of Huma's connections were mentioned by her during the investigations into 9/11. She has made no mention of her relationship to Abdullah Omar Nassif, the Muslim World League, Muslim Brotherhood, or her current status at her family business, which could be of unimaginable assistance to the FBI and the CIA. Huma's mother still works for the Muslim World League, yet Huma has made no effort to distance herself from her mother or her radical views. Saliha Abedin is a leading Sharia activist who has, for example, published a book called Women in Islam that claims secular man-made laws enslave women. It supports female genital mutilation, the death penalty for leaving Islam, the legal subordination of women, and the participation of women in violent jihad. Hillary Clinton has flown to meet with Saliha Abedin many times. Huma says that her mother considers her to be a big deal and is proud of her. Huma's absolute silence on all questions regarding her extremist ties says far too much. How can someone with such close links to terrorism be allowed access to our top secret information and have security clearances? Especially since it was found that Huma was accessing Hillary Clinton's emails and physical documents. The Clinton Foundation received over $25 million from Saudi Arabia, and they also funded 20% of her election campaign. Saudi Arabia's massive influence on the Clintons and Obama administration has not gone unnoticed. The damaging results of Islamist influence on the USA and Europe is worthy of another dedicated report, as this is just the tip of the corrupt iceberg. But you can no longer deny that Hillary Clinton is actively working with a global movement whose goal is to destroy Western civilization, just for the selfish benefit of money and power. Huma is the previously hidden link between the Clintons and Saudi terrorism. Dozens of other people and organizations were left out of this for length. Any rational person should have high standards of evidence for claims such as this. So here is the fastest way to prove Huma's tie to Abdullah Omar Nassif that you can look up for yourself and is sourced by their own websites. Start at the website of Huma's family business, the Institute of Muslim Minority Affairs. See that Huma's mother, Saliha, and Huma's brother, Hassan, currently manage this company. Now go to the website for the Muslim World League, owned by Saudi Arabia and Abdullah Omar Nassif. Note the address is listed by their website, 46 Goodge Street, London. Now, back to Huma's family business. If you scroll down, you see that same address, 46 Goodge Street, London. Clearly anyone can prove in seconds that Huma's family business is owned by Saudi Arabian terrorists. Their own websites make no secret of this fact. There are no more excuses for Huma's silence. She has had years of opportunities to distance herself from terrorists and radical views, but would rather simply hide. The American people demand an explanation from Huma Abedin and Hillary Clinton before the election. One simple, straightforward question needs to be answered. Did Abdullah Omar Nassif create your family business? And were you working with him in any capacity on September the 11th, 2001? Yes or no? This year marks the 15th anniversary of the day Al-Qaeda murdered 3,000 innocent citizens. Let's not forget about it so quickly. Huma's security clearances should be revoked until she or Hillary directly address this national security threat. Unfortunately, in the meantime, because of the overwhelming silence and lies, it appears to be true that a vote for Hillary Clinton will be a vote for Huma Abedin, the Muslim Brotherhood, Saudi Arabia, Al-Qaeda, and a wish for the complete destruction of the United States of America.
Notice how happy Hillary is around Huma. You know, body language tells it all. Body language tells everything. And here is why some people consider public life so distasteful, because your emotions are on the stage for the world to see. You cannot hide your true emotions. And as you're going to see, when Hillary is around Huma, she is ecstatically happy. She is really, really happy. I mean, who wouldn't be? Huma is a beautiful young lady, and it's just natural. It's just natural for anybody to be around beauty like that. You're going to be happy. So here's the pictures. I just thought I would share it with you. You cannot hide your true feelings, and that's why there are so many people out there who can see through Hillary like a cheap novel. I mean, you can really see her true feelings, whether she's telling you the truth or whether she's lying. It comes out easy, and that's why I said lots of people consider public life so distasteful, because it's hard to get on this public stage and lie easily. And you can see the wrinkles and the creases by the eyes. That's how you tell if somebody's truly smiling, a true smile, if they're really happy. If you try a fake smile, those creases will not be by the eyes. So here is a real smile by Hillary. The creases by the eye prove that it's a real smile by Hillary. She's happy, and she enjoys being around humor. And like I said, who wouldn't? But that's how you tell if somebody's faking a smile or not. Because if you're trying to fake a smile, the creases around the corner of the eyes, they will not be there. So you can tell this woman is extremely, extremely happy to be around humor. And I just don't want to say it's just Hillary because, well, any red-blooded American man would be happy to be around her. Here's the proof. I mean, is that man happy? Sure, he's happy. So where am I going with this? Yeah, I mean, I think I made my point, but where are you going with this? Well, that's what I'm trying to say. When you're on a public stage, your emotions show through easily, and the lies are not easy to cover up. Here are the true emotions when Hillary's around Bill. Well, not so happy, huh? Not so ecstatic. So are you telling me, I'm not trying to imply anything here. I'm not trying to imply anything. I'm just saying she's really happy to be around Huma, but around Bill, I just don't see it. I just don't see the enjoyment factor. You make up your own mind. You make up your own mind, because I already have. I can see through this lady like a cheap novel. When she lies to me, boom, it hits. I see it in a heartbeat, and that's what's so strange to me. How she can lie to Americans and they don't see it. That's strange to me. But this is a true smile right here. When you see her smiling, the creases by the eye, that's a true, legitimate smile. Hillary is truly happy to be around Huma. But you make up your own mind.
There once was a time when the left were the champions of freedom. Remember the 60s? Fights for women's liberation, civil rights, the explosion of creativity in music and fashion and art. Of course, not all the consequences turned out to be good, but it was undeniably a powerful and heartfelt expression of freedom. Those revolutions were driven by young people, and they were overwhelmingly on the left. But look where the left is today. Instead of freedom, they stand for control. They are the new Puritans, marching around, telling everybody off for the way they behave. You can barely say a word these days without some joyless leftist martinet pooping off about being unsafe or triggered or culturally appropriated or whatever the latest Orwellian epithet is about, sexism or racism or transphobia. Of course, sexism and racism and transphobia are wrong, but the way you fight those things is through judicious, thoughtful and considered activism, not the brain-dead mind control tactics of the new Puritans on the left. And the left today is not just puritanical, it's tyrannical. They tell you what you're allowed to think, what you're allowed to do, what you're allowed to say. If you transgress, you're shamed, punished, destroyed in some cases. They bang on endlessly about diversity and then proceed to crush the most important diversity of all. The diversity that is the foundation of human progress. Diversity of thought. There is no freedom of thought, of speech, of anything on the left these days, only conformity. A miserable, joyless conformity as the new Puritans impose their intolerant, bigoted, narrow-minded worldview on everybody else. The left's new Puritans are taking over the Democratic Party and imposing their identitarian attitude on everything there. They'll probably nominate one of their own as their presidential candidate in 2020. And deservedly lose, because Americans love freedom. They hate being told what to do. That's why America was founded in the first place. It's why America became the greatest country in the history of the world. Young people especially hate being told what to do. There's bound to be a revolt against the left's authoritarianism and intolerance. So, while the Democrats might think their Puritan takeover is good politics today, it will come back and bite them in the end, because the instinct for freedom is deep and strong, and especially heartfelt in young people. If the left carries on with its authoritarian puritanism, in the words of the Kaiser chiefs, I predict a riot. Now, I'd love to know what you think. Please follow us at Steve Hilton X and at NextRevFNC.